gone into something and be like, okay, yeah, that's fine, let's do it. But during the course of the situation, things became uncomfortable. And when you felt that call to like, I need to say something, I need to tell them that that's not okay or that's crossing a boundary, there were a lot of limits there for you. There was a lot of like...
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm your girl Miss Ree, and yeah, I'm back again with an update. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The transparent truth about everything I experienced over the recent past has been challenging, to say the least. What I mean by this is, in one of my previous videos, I had recently shared with you guys that I came back from South Africa, my home country, and I hadn't been to South Africa in over a decade, and me going was quite important for me to go, and just especially around what has been happening in the world right now with COVID, and I mean, I'm literally actually recording this in the month of July, but obviously July 2021, but COVID has been happening since 2020, and added on to COVID, there's a lot happening in the world right now. There's a lot of African country that's just not just African countries, there's a lot of countries around the world that's going through it right now. There's floods in Europe, I think it's in Germany, and there's a lot. Haiti, South Africa. Listen, I don't want to just keep talking about it, but I know you guys, if you watch the news, and if you haven't, go watch it. There's a lot happening on top of the fact that we're dealing with COVID and the amount of deaths that's happening, the restrictions that we have to deal with, the fact that we can't see our families, this, that, and the other. I made a decision. I needed to go see my family. It's been years and years and years, and I needed to take my children. That was really the main important reason why I had gone. Coming back to what you just listened to, with the card reader talking about a situation specifically where I had to deal with something. Now the backstory with that is I had partnered with a business partner and a very good friend of mine, and we decided to go into business together. And a long story short is that when you're meeting up with someone and you see that your skills are very compatible, your vision is kind of leaning towards the same direction, but is clearly very different. And this was the case with myself and my business partner. Boundaries was something I didn't think of in the manner that I experienced, and the seriousness of it. And I really respect boundaries like I've never respected it before. And agreeing to understand that boundaries is important when you go into business relations and is very important. I'm just going to leave that at that. On my way back, so going to South Africa, I was still in business partnership, based on the business foundation that it was a SKIO, which means in the UK or in Scotland specifically, it both has status of charity as well as social enterprise status. The business was going through a transition and had been going through a transition over the last 4 years. I was a major part of the rebranding of this organization. So we could just change what we could at the time, and according to other parts of the business. So meaning on the outset, we changed stuff that the purpose of the business, the mission, the vision, and how we going to, what our plans were going to be. What is the goal going to be for the years coming. that was stuff that we worked on, and that took a long time to get to, because even as business partners, I won't lie, I felt like I was carrying my business partner, because there was a lot of times she had no clue of what it is and where we were going. Now, that is fine, that's okay, and we were going to work on this together and support each other through this journey. And the beautiful thing about it is that we were very well aware of ourselves and our skills and how we complement each other with our skills. And we weren't hiding anything. There was no hidden agendas with regards to what I bring to the table and what she brings to the table. And going and staying back on the point of what the astrologer was, or card reader was talking about with regards to, boundaries and being able to set those boundaries and going into a partnership where I really did not believe that I needed the kind of boundaries that I had needed, and that I'm now awakened to and aware of with it. Around the end of 2020, I had a conversation, and I'd had conversations with my business partner the whole entire 2020, and we spoke quite a lot intensely, actually from 2019, late 2019 to 2020, and throughout 2020 we spoke quite a lot at times about creating what I would call important decision making around documenting stuff. Now, when you're in business, you be very careful when people are not in agreement with creating proper foundations within business relationships and agreements. There's got to be paper trails that states what it is that you're doing and where you're going. And I'm not going to lie to you. Don't ever let someone fuck around with your mind and come to you with kumbaya energy and make you feel that, they got your back, because they might really intentionally want to got your back. But the problem is, legally, there's a difference between somebody giving you an emotional response and somebody actually knowing what the fuck they're saying and understanding the severity of what it is that they're committing to. And when the time comes and you got to deal with things on a legal standpoint, they cower out and sit in the shadows doing the, I don't know what happened there. I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure. I just don't want conflict. The problem is, if there is no real documented agreements, if there is no officialized agreement on certain things, man, I can't tell you how a very good friend of mine warned me years ago when I first started going into partnership with this business partner of mine. She warned me and said to me, you keep calling yourself something in this partnership, but you are not that individual. You are not that position that you're claiming. You don't have. Until there is paperwork and proof, you cannot claim it. Now, another step deeper into this whole situation to make you really understand, everyone who wants to go into business partnership, young people who are enthusiastic and whatever, let me tell you, you will put a vision into a business venture with a business partner, and if you don't have any track record of what it is that you're doing, you can lose everything. You can lose your entire vision to someone else who can be very irresponsible and just play dumb. So be careful. Be very careful. I can dive deeper into this. But I'm going to tell you guys that I am at the point of still processing a lot of this. Why? Because when you go into business partner with someone who is a friend, there is so much other things that you need to consider. Your relationship with them, their relationship with people in your family, and vice versa. Even though I can say that she was more invested into my life and my family's life than I was into her family's life. Her family was quite distant to me. Love them still, but they're quite distant and just in their own world. And the thing is, when you open up your life and your family and expose who you are, every part of you, making yourself vulnerable to an individual. Most times when friendships are being formulated, we don't really understand and think about how much we are allowing people into our lives and how much, you don't think of it from a perspective of it's like an investment, and you're letting people into spaces of your life that are sacred. And unless they have the maturity to understand how to navigate themselves in a respectful manner into your life and around your life, especially if you're starting off with your business venture and this vision that you have and where it is that you're going. And when we started off as business partners and we started off with this venture, we never laid down the foundation of our business relationship in a way that was formally agreed, and it was just all verbal and it was all kumbaya. And I would say we probably both went into it extremely passionately and really dedicated, but that is not sufficient. It is not sufficient. I know for a fact that there are so many successful business people out there that will agree with me and say, oh, been there. Yep, could have told you that. There are certain things that you can avoid. And just to also give emphasis to the fact that this was not my first business relationship. I've had a few business ventures and relationships with people. I had a business agreement with close friends, and we bumped into the exact same issues where there was an individual who was looking for paper trails. She wanted to know that we're documenting everything that we are stating, agreeing upon. And another business partner, so there was 3 of us, another business partner, came with the energy of, hey, we should trust each other, and, y'all should already know that you can trust me because I trust you, and this, that, and the other. Now, mind you, I'm going through everything that I'm going through, and I'm listening to this conversation back and forth with the 2 business partners that I'm in partnership with. And I'm beginning to see the exact same patterns. And luckily for me, I was able to just, okay, hey, listen, I'm out. I am not going to be a part of this. I'm good because I have learned my lesson from my previous experience and my previous business partner. The reason I mention this is because the second business venture that I was getting into were with women that were older than me. And there was an expectation of guidance that I was expecting, but it wasn't there. What I found was there was a lot of emotional support. A lot of teaching was happening. But there was no actual real business savviness, truth when it comes to business. And here I'm going to drop a gem. I've always known this, but for some reason I hadn't put the two together at the time that I was experiencing this. I've always spoken about it, but for some reason I hadn't had the opportunity to, when I was going through what I would call a tower moment, I didn't have the opportunity to actually gather my thoughts in a holistic, peaceful, and productive way in order to, to document and to explain and to understand the situation. Because to be honest with you, what I had gone through when the card reader was talking about walking on eggshells, because I spoke up about something that I believed strongly from a business perspective was not meant to be happening. One, I was walking on eggshells. Two, I was not in the country at the time that the organization was, that this issue was arising with regards to the organization. And three, as I was coming back, I had so much issues because it's COVID and traveling that I basically was told a couple of days before I was traveling, as well as a couple of days towards the end of the month, that, hey, listen, your job is going up for advertisement, which, as far as I was concerned, was not the initial agreement. And all of a sudden, people spring shit on you when you least expect. So that's why you gotta have your A game ready, and you gotta know how to navigate yourself. And I wasn't, and I was exhausted in many, many ways. I was depleted emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and financially. It was gonna get 10 times worse. Anyway, so I needed to take time to think about this, and hence why I can now come back to you with this. So the lesson and the thing that I've learned was that there are rules and laws that governs the land. And then there are rules and laws that governs our spiritual entity, who we are as spiritual beings and how we operate on this platform as spiritual beings. And there are limitations to this based upon your level of awareness and awakening. Now, saying this, I've believed both business partners, right? Both these business partners that had zero concept, as far as I'm concerned, was overlooking the fact that the laws of the land are specifically designed to operate to protect everybody. You cannot make up your own rules, and those rules does not comply with the laws of the land. We were being asked to operate in a way that doesn't comply with the laws of the land. And who goes into business like that and you're going to be successful? It doesn't make sense. You cannot make emotional decisions on a business level and expect to be successful. So that was a major, major, major awakening for me. And it wasn't so much that I didn't know, it was the fact that I didn't understand these individuals and the fact that they don't see life for what it really, really, truly is. They're living in this whole other world. And so hearing them speak, listening to how they understand and how they want to operate has caused damage, extreme damage. My advice to anyone going into business would be this. Mentorship is important. Mentorship from people who's been there and done that is important. And I'm not talking about people who are just getting into the game. I'm talking about people who's been in the game. My advice would also be very cautious and careful. Know the rules of what it is that you're getting into. Make sure that you get all the protection that you need before you go into any business partnership. Communication is always found the biggest connector to a successful business partnership. The thumb rule when it comes to communication is not so much speaking, but listening. listen to your business partner, listen to what they say and what it actually means. Sometimes flip it around. Just sit and meditate on the things that they say. Especially the things they say in response to the things that you are requesting. Know when someone is saying no without using the word NO. Be cautious when someone is saying yes, but there is zero momentum and no action backing that yes. Be cautious about investing into something for more than 6 months and seeing no return on investment. Find yourself a coach. Find yourself a life coach that walks you through the steps and stages, meaning writing down your goals and seeing how you're achieving your goals. And listen, nothing with regards to writing down your goals and your vision, nothing is fixed. Things can be changed and things can change along the way. And that is fine as long as you know what your goals are and you're consistently on your way towards it. And then lastly, I've always believed that you have to really dedicate more than anyone else if you're going into your own business ventures and creating your own vision and mission for yourself and for your life and fulfilling your purpose. This experience depleted me in ways I never thought it would. I have so been stripped from my confidence, and I'm a very confident individual. Extremely passionate. I've been stripped from it all. Be extremely cautious about people slowly chipping away at you. Because before you know it, they will lift their hands in the air and say, I don't know, I'm sorry. And in the meantime, you left deflated, depleted, not even knowing who you are or what happened to the ground underneath your feet. And they will carry on, like with my situation, with your vision, smiling, posting about it, talking about it, not giving you no credit for nothing that you have done. Living their best lives on the vision that you built, sleepless nights that you spent putting everything together. They just move on right along with your stuff. While you were feeling like, my God, how did this even get to this point? And with that said, know that vindication comes because karma, baby, that's a badass bitch. And with that said, thank you for allowing me to share this with you. And if you want to know more about how you can protect yourself, more about your journey, if you are having any problems within your journey, please make sure you email at Areeva, that's AREEVA 101 at gmail.com if you want any coaching or you just want to talk through your situation. The email address will be left in the description box. Yes, we all learn, we all grow, and self-development is important, as well as self-awareness on this journey. I'm going to love you and leave you. Peace be unto you, and go live your best life. Go live your best life. Bye for now.